Is anyone confused yet? Good afternoon, I hope everyone's well today, thank you for watching. Is anyone confused about the policy positions of Reform UK? Me as a Reform voter and a Restore Britain member am constantly and completely confused by Reform UK's policy. And I want to get into a few clips in this video to demonstrate why that is. They seem to say anything and everything that is expedient in the moment to a particular audience, with little to no foresight in how it will look later down the line. So I'm going to play these clips now, and we'll get into it as we watch them. So thank you for watching. So the first clip is from Farage from a recent conference.
Country around. We've got to control our borders. And frankly, if you come here by boat as a young adult male who throws his phone and his passport into the English Channel at 12 miles, under our government, you'll be detained and deported, no questions asked at any point in time.
Very specifically talking about the small percentage of migration which is illegal immigration, about 3%. If you come here illegally, you will be detained and you will be deported. That is the policy message that Reform UK and Nigel Farage is running with here. Not mass deportations and nothing about legal migration at all. Then we'll get into the second clip.
Leaving the country. As hundreds of thousands leave, talented people, taxpayers, entrepreneurs, business types, and frankly, they're being replaced by goat herders from Afghanistan.
Who was responsible for that? Was it your Shadow Chancellor, Robert Jenrick, maybe? Was he responsible for it, or am I misremembering things? No, I think I'm completely correct. It was your Shadow Chancellor, Robert Jenrick.
Now, that comment will get me in trouble, but that's okay. I've spent my whole life being in trouble.
So he'll say one thing to his audience, and then we'll get into Matt Goodwin, who recently lost the Gorton and Denton by-election. He's plugging a new book that I can't name on the channel because YouTube doesn't like that particular word, but I'll put a picture of the book on the screen now. He's very strong on rhetoric, but just like the rest of Reform UK, there's little substance behind the rhetoric. We're going to play a short clip from it. It's powerful, it is emotive, but that's pretty much it.
Millions of people in the United Kingdom now share the same feeling. It's overwhelming, it's unavoidable, it's a feeling we'd rather ignore, yet we know we can't. It can be described in just 5 words. We are losing our country. You walk down the street and you feel like a foreigner in the place where you were born. You move through your cities, your towns, your villages, and yet you no longer recognise them. You hear languages that are not your own. You pass symbols, behaviours and cultures that were not here before. The country of your childhood, the country described by your parents and your grandparents, no longer lies before you. It exists now only in old films, fading books and nostalgia reels on social media. Suddenly, the country that you search for, the country that you yearn for, the country you thought you would carry with you forever, is nowhere to be seen. It feels as though, without warning, it slipped away before your eyes. You haven't left your country, and yet you cannot shake the feeling that your country has left you.
So we'll leave that there. It's basically a be-real of all the stuff that we know is going wrong in the country. And he comes across with platitudes, warm words, and that's pretty much it because he's plugging his new book. That's all it is, he's plugging a new book. Now I'm going to play a couple of clips from Goodwin on the Winston Marshall show. You may remember him because he left his band Mumford and Sons because he says he was cancelled. What you need to know is when he's platforming all these Reform UK pundits and politicians, his dad owns GB News, Nigel Farage's TV show, and the network Reform UK TV, essentially GB News. It's run by him. So when they're not platforming Restore Britain, or they're specifically not platforming people like Ben Habib or Rupert Lowe, that's why there's a vested interest, and that's why Winston Marshall will never ask difficult questions of Reform UK, will never go down that route. Extremely, extremely milquetoast, extremely accommodating to Reform UK, and we all know why. The establishment have determined that they are the containment vehicle for right-wing dissent in the country, and anything else is beyond the pale. So we're going to get into the first clip now, which is revealing in of itself.
The most support I picked up for reform was among British Nigerians.
British Nigerians, so that would be people like Kemi Badenoch, a British Nigerian. Alright, the leader of the Tory party. It's funny that the leader of the Tory party is a British Nigerian, and the British Nigerians won't be voting for her. Apparently they're voting for Reform UK. So the strongest vote for Reform UK is not the native diaspora of Britain, the native people of Britain. It is people that have been imported into the United Kingdom against the democratic will of the British people. That is, according to Matt Goodwin, their base.
Because what they were saying was that nobody in this country is talking about the fact that this country is built on Christian foundations. Nobody in this country is talking about what is happening to Christians in Nigeria.
When you say nobody, you mean no political party?
No major frontline politician is talking about that. And I can tell you, the one thing they noticed, and I'm not talking about an insignificant number of people here, probably 2,500 people within diasporas in that seat, from West Africa, places like Nigeria.
So what he's indicating here is the issue that the Nigerian British were concerned about is a foreign policy decision in their native homeland. Something that they can see happening back home and they're concerned about. That's their greatest political concern in the host country that they're now living in, the United Kingdom. What is going on back home? It's interesting when you frame it that way. I wonder if I moved to Australia, I could vote a Australian politician in on the basis of what's going on in the UK. I wonder if that would pass muster in any other country. And then we get on to the next clip. This is the clip that they are openly, both of them, Winston Marshall and Matt Goodwin, are openly mocking Restore Britain.
When I was campaigning on the streets, one thing that I was thinking about, because at the time we had a bit of online hurrah about, new parties being formed and all the rest of it, I was thinking how utterly absurd it would be to watch some of those people campaign in Gorton and Denton, right? Knock on the door, boom, boom, boom. Hello, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Restore. All right, what do you believe? Yeah,
You should be deported.
we believe in mass deportations.
Do Restore Britain believe in mass deportations? Millions must go. They're going to start with foreign criminals. They're going to be starting with illegal migrants, which number over 2 million at least. So there's your millions must go. That's before you tackle this is before you tackle legal migration. And you disincentivize the migrants to go home. That's the way you do it. You work through incentives. Nobody's seriously considering bang, bang, bang on a door. Mass deportations, that's what we're voting, that's our policy platform. I don't think anybody's actually looking to do that. And even if they were going to do that, what's the implication that you cannot campaign on a legal political offering to the people of Britain? What are you insinuating here, Matthew? Are you insinuating it's not safe to do so? Are you insinuating that people are going to be violent towards canvassers if they canvass on this platform? What's the point you were trying to make here, other than a sheep dig at a political rival that is better than you?
Oh, right. Oh, what else do you believe? We believe in remigration.
So you said the same thing twice using different words, and you think you're an academic, or you think you're quite smart because you've done that? No, not at all. You're actually showing yourself for the establishment shill that you are. You're an Alan Partridge figure. Any idiot could have told you that if you go up to a working class seat, you're not going to be elected because of what you are and who you represent. You're very Southern England, you're very academic, and you can't actually resonate with people like me who would be inclined to vote Reform UK. That's why you lost, alright? That's why you lost. Sheer hubris.
Oh, what's that? Let me tell you something. It's completely divorced from political reality. The people who are pushing those ideas have never canvassed, have never campaigned, have never spent a serious amount of time with the British people.
And they're not actually policymakers in Restore Britain either. You forgot out the most important part there. You've got extreme people online, granted, and they are saying they all vote for Restore Britain. They're not policymakers in Restore Britain. They're not actually shaping the policy of Restore Britain either. But you're lumping everybody in the same boat. If they vote Restore Britain, you're doing exactly what everybody else does in the political establishment to those they have considered beyond the pale, persona non grata. So we're going to leave these here. I think it's clear that Reform UK isn't serious about deporting legal migrants, and they're not probably serious about lowering the number of legal migrants into Britain. It's all focused on the very small and the very narrow subset of migration, which is the boat people, the dinghy people. The very visible sign that we have broken borders in Britain. They're not saying anything about deporting the Boris wave. They're saying that people that want mass deportations are extreme nut jobs, essentially. It looks to what David Cameron called the UKippers back in the day, a basket of loonies, fruitcakes and nutters. That type of rhetoric. They're doing exactly the same thing here. Now, the thing with Restore Britain, they are consistent on policy, and they've not actually wavered on their policy. That seems to be the clear blue water between Restore Britain and Reform UK, is that Reform UK will tell you what you want to hear, they'll placate you, they'll say they're going to do the right thing, but what you need to ask yourself is, would you really trust them to deliver what they're promising to deliver on? Would you promise them to deliver those results? No answer's wrong. Every opinion is valid. I'm just sharing my opinion. I have very, very limited faith in Reform UK. If there was an election tomorrow, probably I would still vote for them, but that's because Restore isn't battle ready yet. Your mileage may vary, as always. I hope I've been concise, I hope I've been fair, and I hope I've given you something to think about. Like and subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.